AWS and how you have to learn all the technologies. These are the concepts that we have covered in the last class. So today we will be discussing about, first of all, I just want to introduce you to the on-premises environment, and then we will be going into the cloud environment. Now, for example, there is a user, or else there is an employer, or there is a company, and this company is the newly established company. Okay, this company is the newly established company, and inside the company, if there is any IT company is there, for example, let me tell you like this. So there is a client, or else there is a client. Clients are nothing but the people who gives us the projects. So projects are like, see, the client may be having some sort of industry. Either he might have some textile industry, or else something like the educational institute, or else somewhere like our government whatever the government agencies are there. For example, I want some website for the Navy, or else I want some website for the army, or else I want some website for the banks like SBI banks, or else Andhra Bank. So like that, I require some of the web applications. So everything, if the user, now there are so many employees in that particular company. If you think this is the client company, and inside this client company, for example, it is a bank, it is a banking sector. Just think like this is a banking sector. In this bank, there will be several member of users. So there will be several member of employees will be there. So I want to know each and every detail about the employee, when he is logging in, when he is logging out, and I need an application for that login and logging out times to specify the login and logout reason. I require an application. And I want my bank, I want to provide an internet banking to my customers, whoever or else to my clients, whoever are accessing my bank, who are having the accounts in my bank. I want an portal for them to know what is the balance that is there in the bank, and how they are utilizing the amount. And I want the mini statements. Everything should be there in that particular application. So these are the some of application that the client is required. Now client required an application to log in and log out, and client require an application for the customers. Like that, when the client is requiring all this sort of application, the bank cannot develop the application. Now who can develop it? Now bank is going to approach an IT service company. So the bank, or else any small scale industry, or else any company which doesn't have the IT resources, they will reach to the IT service company. Here the IT service company will be there. So the IT service companies are nothing but your Amazon, Capgemini, not only Amazon, I can call it as Wipro, Infosys, TCS. These are all the companies which will provide the services to the clients. Now the client is approaching the company. Now when the client approaches to the company, client says his requirement. So he's the client. Now it is the IT service company. So it is your wish. You can understand it might be Wipro or TCS, any company. So ITS in the sense IT service company. Okay, so this IT service company will when the client approaches to the IT service company and he says his requirements, I want a particular this type of application. So can you please develop the application, and I want those applications to be hosted in your company only. I don't want another burden on my company. So the client says that I don't want that burden on my back. I just want all my details should be there inside your, or else he can say like, okay, you can create the servers inside the bank, but the operation has to be handled by your clients itself. This is what the client requirement itself. Now what happened? The IT service company, as per the client requirement, they will develop an application. For that, we require a development team. Obviously, IT service company will have a development team. This is the development team where they are going to develop the application. Now, when the application is developed, and I am not completely into the development, so when the application is developed, now the application has to deploy in the servers. Here comes the development team work is done. Now the main concept comes here. So the development team work is to develop the application and to give the application to the infrastructure people, or else operations team. So the IT company will have the operations team. So if you think this is the operations team wing, now the whatever the application is there, the application will comes to the operations team. Okay. Now, when the application comes to the operations team, the operation team will analyze the application, in which sort of servers the application will be suitable. They are going to build the servers. So to building their servers, if the client says that I want to deploy the application in your premises only, I want a server. In that server only, I want to deploy the application, as I don't have that much amount of space. I don't have the technicalities within my location. So you can create the server in your company only. So now what operations team is going to do? For the every IT service company, there will be a data center. For example, this is the data center where I am going to have, this is the on-premises data center where I am going to have multiple servers. For example, this is the rack server that I am having. These are so like that inside a data center, inside an on-premises data center, or else in any data center, you will be having multiple racks. Like that, you will be having, this is the another rack, this is the another rack. Like that, you are having so many racks. Inside these racks, you are having some servers. These are the physical servers which I am having. Physical servers and virtual servers, we will discuss about that. These are the physical servers I am having. Now, like that, I will be having so many physical servers. I will be having so many physical servers. This is the second physical server. Like that, I am going to have so many physical servers inside my rack servers. Now, what operations team is going to do? Operation team is going to deploy the application in one of the virtual servers. Inside the physical server, you will have a virtual server, and inside that, they are going to deploy the application. And from this application, and this application is, they will provide the access to the application for the clients. They will provide the URL to the client, so that the URL will be provided to the each and every customer by the client, so that the customers can access the application. This is what going to happen here. But now, if you see here, now whenever there is a data center, now let me tell you, this is the data center which is created inside my on-premises IT service company. This is the data center. For data center, what is my requirement? If I am an IT service company, if I want to install any data center or else any server, first of all, let us discuss about the data center and then we will go for the servers. For any data center, so the location has to be selected by the employees, and then everything, security, location, climatic changes, and they have to check the transport, power, and internet activity, internet connectivity. All these things we need to take consideration. Why? Because if any one of the thing is not there, your services will not be available to the end users. For a data center, if you want to install any data center, you need to have, first of all, the land should be very cheaper. So if at all, if the land is cheap, then you cannot economic. If I have to say in another way, if the land should be economically available for the data center to construct, but those land should not be very far from the city, and as well as those land should not be inside the city as well as. So you need to have a moderate amount of money. So the cost should be very less when you compare to the land inside the city or else outside the city. The cost should be less. This is the one consideration. And climatic changes. So you need to search for the climatic conditions. You need to check the climatic condition, how many times the earthquake has been occurred on that particular region. Is there any effect of cyclones? All these things you need to check. So these are all the things that has to be done by the users, or else done by the employees, data center employees. They have to search all these things. And you need to have a power station, and you need to have active internet connectivity. These are all the things that has to be checked by the employees. Once the data center, land, and everything has been done, now they have to purchase the servers. So there will be racks. First of all, they have to purchase the racks, and they have to, the employees themselves has to give the quotations. So this is amount of thing. So everything has to be handled by the employees, which means a very hectic task. So these are the racks, and inside the racks, this is, let me do one thing. Inside the racks, there you have to purchase the physical servers. This is the physical server. This is first physical server. Like that, you need to purchase so many physical servers. Purchasing, everything is relied on this purchases only. These are all the physical servers which you are having inside the rack server. And you need to have another rack server also. For if there are more clients for the company, there should be multiple racks and multiple servers should be there. Single server, single rack is not enough for a normal type of company. Okay, these are the different racks you are having. And you need to have connectivity for, which means the network connectivity should be there from one server to the another server, from the another server to the third server. And from one rack to the another rack, you need to have the network connectivity. And like this, you need to have the network connectivity from all the servers. You need to have the network connectivity. So the network connectivity is also created by the employees, network engineers, network administrators only. So they have to look after all these connections. So it is a hectic task for a small scale IT service company. If at all, if it is an MNC company like Google or else Wipro or Infosys or else any other company, it is very easy. Why? Because their turnover will be in lakhs and crores. It is easy. So there will be so many number of employees will be there, and their responsibility is to find, it's is to manage the IT services. It will be very easy for them. But when you come to a small scale industry, if at all, if you are starting the IT service company, if you are starting an IT service company for the startup guys, so to establish this type of environment is very, very difficult. So you have to purchase the servers, you have to deploy the application, and you have to maintain the networking. So if you see here, what are the physical things that our employees is going to do? So the physical things the employees are going to do here is server administration, which means they have to monitor the server and maintain the servers. Monitor and maintenance. Okay, and after server administration, they have to go for the network administration, which means that monitoring of network and maintenance of network. Okay, if there is any problem in the network, they have to look after the network maintenance. If they have to monitor the network, they have to maintain the network. If any cable is disconnected, again, they have to search for which cable has been disconnected and they have to replace the cable. Or else if there is any router or else firewalls, all these are comes under the networking devices. If any one device is down, then they have to go and purchase the device or else go and contact the vendor and they have to replace it. Everything, manual efforts are very, very high in the on-premises. Now, when you go back to the network administration and storage administration, so this is also one of the responsibility of the admins. So they are also here. Also, you need to monitor the storage and you need to maintain the storages. So everything will be monitored by the administrators only. So nothing if you think that this is the only problem that I am having, if you think like that, automatically you are going to encounter with another problem. Like that, you are going to get so many problems and you need to resolve them manually. You need to resolve that. You cannot you cannot sit properly. If at all, if you are an administrator, as an administrator, I know what are the challenges that I have faced. But anyways, coming back to this, so if at all, if we are seeing all these administrations to overcome all these problems which are affecting in the on-premises, but there will be a liberty in the on-premises. So if you don't want the server, or else if you want to give the servers to the any other ones, there will be like this. And one more thing is that whatever the servers that you have deployed, you need to maintain those servers, and every 5 years, the maximum server age that a server can sustain is 5 years. After 5 years, you need to replace the server. The replacement has to be done manually. So you guys, the employees has to go to the DCs or else near to the servers, and they have to replace the parts or else whatever the requirement, CPUs, RAMs, everything has to be maintained, and everything has to be replaced. So the life cycle will be like this, so that there will be a huge amount of stress on the network admins and the system admins and the storage administrators, and you need to take the backup. Each and everything comes under the employees only. So it is a hectic task for the employees at the starting stages. So for the installation of servers and all the things, it's a hectic task. So do you guys understand what are the problems of the on-premises data centers or else on-premises? Is there any doubts here? Any doubts, guys? Whatever the topic that we have covered now until now, is there any doubts? Did you understand this? Did you understand this?
Yes, sir. It is.
Okay. So please respond. I am not talking to the walls. I am talking to the person who are, I think all the persons are listening. If anybody are sleeping, please wake up. Come on. Okay. So this is about your data center. There are so many problems with the data center. To overcome all these problems, what I am going to do here is I am going to migrate my services into a specialized service called as cloud. So this cloud, whatever the cloud that we are using, what is meant by cloud? Previously, we used to store the data inside the cloud. Whenever we upload the files, everyone will think that it is located in some remote region. So like that, it is located in somewhere else in somewhere another region. So we don't see the region where our data is storing. We are unable to see that particular location. If you see that your photos are saving in the hard disk, you can say that my photos or else my images or else my documents, my videos are all are storing in the hard disk. You can say that you can see the location so that you are saying that this is stored in the hard disk. But when you upload into the cloud, if you upload any data into the Google Drive, can you see the location? You cannot see the location. Whenever you are unable to see the location, they name it as a cloud, which means that my data is storing inside the cloud. So like that, the cloud term has become popular. And afterwards, what happened? Firstly, when the cloud was deployed, when the first cloud was introduced, the cloud, it is only used for the storage purpose only. To store your data, either it might be Google Drive, OneDrive, or else S3 buckets, everything. So when the cloud was introduced, it is only for the purpose of storage. Later on, what happened? Some improvements has been made, and they made into the services. They made into different services like servers, and they have given like a specialized networking concept called as VPC, EC2 instances, RDS. Every service has been introduced into the cloud. Slowly, the cloud is expanding all over the world. Now, each and every company is having a requirement of cloud engineer. They want the cloud associate, they want the AWS associate, they want the Azure associate. Now, every company is expanding their wings towards the cloud. So why? Because to overcome all these problems. So here, cloud will provide the feasibility to overcome all the problems which you are facing in the on-premises. So you don't need to install the servers. You don't need to find the physical servers. Already the physical servers will be available. And you don't need to worry about the networking. The networking can be managed by the cloud service provider itself. You don't have to worry about the how networking has to be installed and what are the different cables that I need to connect, how much amount of data that I have to transfer from one server to the another server. If there is any cable disconnection, what I have to do, everything is going to be maintained by the cloud service provider itself. You don't need to worry about that. You have to worry about your application, how the application is performing, whether the load has been increased or else load has been decreased. Is there any bugs in the application? You can only concentrate on the application. You don't need to worry about the infrastructure. Infrastructure is completely handled, take care by the cloud service providers itself. Now, that is the reason why every company is migrating towards the cloud. There is one more reason, that is, if you check it out here, for the server administration, or else if you want to buy any servers, that will be cost you very high. And whether you use or you don't use, it doesn't matter. The server, whenever you go and purchase the server, it will be costing you around from a minimum server will cost you a minimum, what I can say, resource server, or else minimum resource, or else minimum RAM, or also whatever the server that you are taking, that you are purchasing, it is going to cost you around 1 lakh rupees. If you are increasing the resources sizes, capacity sizes, automatically the server will be costlier than 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakhs, like that. It is going to go on like this. Now, here you need to purchase it. If there is any damage in the server, if there is any damage in the physical server, if the RAM is not working fine, if the CPU is not working good, or else there is a problem with the storage, then automatically you have to pay for that, and you have to maintain that. You have to check it out whether you have to replace the RAM. Maintenance is nothing but monitoring and searching that whether all the devices are working fine. Now, if there is any faulty in one of the device, then automatically you need to replace that. So for that, you need to purchase that particular device. So all the things has to be done by you only. You have to strain a lot whenever you are on the on-premises. And as well as when you come to the network administration, if a cable is disconnected, you need to find out where the cables are disconnected. Everything. You have to search all these things. So when you come back to the cloud is pay as you go. How many hours you use the server, pay only for that hours only. If you use the server for 8 hours, pay only for 8 hours. If you use the server for 16 hours, pay only for 16 hours, not more than that. We don't require more than that. So how much amount of time you use, pay only for that. And which type of server you use, depending upon the servers that you use, the costing is also increasing or decreasing. These are the two different varieties that we are having. If you use less amount of resources like 1 GB CPU or else 1 GB RAM and 1 CPU and somewhere like 8 GB of orders, then it is very less. It is so less that you can purchase a chocolate from that. With the chocolate price, you are having a server per 1 hour. So like that, you are going to provide you, the cloud is going to provide you the servers as per the pay as you go method. So that is the reason why everybody are moving into the cloud. Why? Because it's very feasible and we can only concentrate on the application. We don't need to worry about our maintenance and monitoring. Everything can be done by the service provider itself. But we need to monitor some of the servers. I will tell you in the Cloud Watch anyways. But this is the main thing that why we are going to migrate to the cloud. Now hope you understand why the term cloud has been came and what is the beginning. At beginning, what we are going to do with the cloud. At beginning, we are only storing the we are only using the cloud for the storage purpose, and later on it has been migrated towards the services like EC2 and VPC and RDS and all the other services. So this is about your cloud. And when you come back to the cloud service models, there are 3 types of cloud service models you are having. The first one is IaaS, second one is PaaS, and the third one is SaaS. These are the 3 types of services that are provided by like service models that the cloud is having. Just give me a moment, guys. Just 1 minute. I will be back. Sorry, let's start. I just want to show you one of the PowerPoint which I'm having. It's for the certification. Okay, let me show you a diagram. On-prem versus cloud. Should be a diagram, or there should be an image. I'm searching. Let me take this. You see the diagram here. You can see this orange color all be managed. This blue color is all managed by the service providers. So if you see the on-premises, everything should be managed by the employees only. Networking, storage, servers, virtualization, everything should be managed by the employees only. But when you come back to the infrastructure as a service, now if I have to say it as an on-premises server, so if you want to construct a home, it is you don't have any builders or else anyone who can construct the home. You are the only person who has to construct your home. So it is like on-premises. You have to search for the land, and then you have to start the construction with your family only. You have to get the bricks, you have to mix the sand and cement, and you have to construct your own home as per your requirement. So this on-premises will be like the same. So you have to go and you have to do all the things. But when you come to the infrastructure as a service, now what you are going to do, you will select a particular land, and you will hand over the land to the contractor, and the contractor will construct you the home. So which means that the home will be constructed by the contractor itself as a like. If you see the infrastructure as a service, networking, storage, servers, and virtualization will be managed by the vendors. So whoever are the service providers are there, they will look after all the things. But when you come back to your home and you say that to the contractor, I want TV. Where is my TV? I want a fridge. Where is my fridge? I want some AC. Where is my AC? Will the contractor will answer you? If you go and ask that, I want all the home appliances. Why you did not get all these appliances? You have just constructed the home. Now, whether the contractor is going to give you any answer, what is the responsibility of the contractor? The contractor responsibility is to construct you a home, and it is not his responsibility to bring all the appliances for you. It is your responsibility. The same manner, here in the IaaS, they will provide the networking, storage, servers, and virtualization. Now, if you ask that, why, where is my application? Which type of, I want this type of application to be deployed. Why you did not create that? Then automatically Amazon Web Services or any service provider is going to give you a reply that, buddy, it is not my responsibility. It is completely your responsibility which type of application you want, which type of operating you want. I don't know which type of application you are running. If your application requirement is Linux, if I deploy Windows, then automatically he will scold me. So I am not responsible for that. I am only responsible for providing the environment for you to deploy the application. It is completely your responsibility to select the operating system and to select the which type of application you require, whether you require a Java application or else Python application, what are the back end, front end coding that you want to write, whether you want to write with HTML, Bootstrap, which type of application you want to develop. Everything will be in your hands. You have to run the application. It is not my responsibility. So this is what infrastructure as a service. When you come to the platform as a service, in the platform as a service, now they are going to provide the appliances also. For example, if you go for, this is your own home. For your own home, the contractor will simply construct you and give it back. Now, when you come to the platform as a service, if I have to give an example for that, it is like a service apartment. They are going to provide you the home. They are going to rent you a house, and as well as they are going to provide you the furniture also. So whatever the furniture, TV, fridge, whatever you want, they are going to provide the appliances and as well as furniture also. Now, it is your responsibility to check after all the applications, all the appliances. In the same manner, if you see here the platform as a service, so the platform as a service also, they are going to provide, the service providers are going to provide entire concepts, like they are going to provide networking, storage, servers, virtualization, and they are the only person, they are going to select the operating system. We don't know which operating system, in which operating system we are going to deploy that application. So middleware and runtime, everything, the application will be selected, whatever the backend resources that we are having, either it might be a database, everything will be selected by the service provider only. Now you just need to deploy your application and you need to run the application. That's it. So for example, if I am running an application, there is a login sign up form is there. So there is a sign up form is there. For that, I want the SQL. I don't know what is the backend operating system they are using, which type of servers they are using. I don't know all these things. So you will go and ask the AWS. So just give me I will provide you an example for that so that you can have a clarity. When I log into my console, I want to deploy an RDS, like MySQL service. I want to deploy MySQL service. So create a database. I just want to create a database. Now, if you see all the proportions, what are the things that they have given, I'm just selecting the database which I want to create. I want to install a MySQL. Here, if you go, what is the MySQL version and where you want, whether you want in the production or dev and test or free tier, I will go with the production. And here you need to select everything regarding your database. You will be selecting that, but not regarding your server, which type of operating system you want to install. Can you see any server operating system they are asking, they are specifying whether I need to install this database in the Linux operating system or Windows operating system, whether they are asking for that. See that you don't have any operating system specification. You go down in all the concepts, in all the configuration, you don't select any operating system, which means that that comes under this type of platform as a service, which means that everything can be run by your service provider only application and data you have to maintain, which means that there is a sign up form, and for the sign up form you are creating the database. So to store all the data which is getting from the sign up form, you want to store that in a database. For that reason, you want a database and you are selecting the RDS services, and they are providing you the
database. Only you don't know what is the backend operating system. You don't know what is the runtime. Everything you don't know. You just go and access the database. Continuously, you can access the database and you can store the data. So here you can maintain the application. If you want to route the data to other databases, yes, you can route the application data to the another databases also. For example, I have created a database in the Mumbai region. For example, if you see, I have created a database in the Mumbai region. If you want your application to transfer the data to the another database, which is in the another region, for example, I will go for the North Virginia region. Okay, you want your data to be stored in the North Virginia region database. Now you can route the traffic towards or else you can route the data to store in that particular North Virginia region. Okay, so this is how you can maintain. You can do any sort of changes in the application and data in the platform as a service. But when you come to the software as a service, if I have to take an example for the software as a service, it is like hotels. What are the resorts that you are staying? So when you will go to the resort and you will stay there and you will enjoy the moment and come back to your home. That's it. So you will have you have to pay for that. So you don't need to construct your home. You don't need to have the furniture. You will go and have your movement and come back. That's it. So in the same manner, this is the software as a service. This software as a service, everything is provided by the service provider only. You just need to go and use the software. For example, there is a software called as Microsoft 365. Microsoft 365. If you go here, you are going to purchase it. So I will go to the subscription. I am going to subscribe the Microsoft 365 app, and then for my family and enterprise, whatever you want, you will subscribe it, and you will download, or or else you will access the online application, whatever your requirements are. If you want to access Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Note, OneNote, Team, Microsoft Teams, all the application, you can access it. Just you can go and purchase the application and you can access it. The best example I can say is Zoom. For Zoom, you can just purchase the Zoom and you can access the Zoom. And you cannot say to the Zoom customers or Zoom service providers that I want these sort of changes in my Zoom application. They will not provide that. So here, whatever the service providers will provide, you have to access it. That's it. You don't have much more customizations in that software as a service. But when you come back to the PaaS as a service, you can customize your own application. When you come back to the IaaS, you can customize your infrastructure also. Okay, so these are the three different service models we are having in the cloud. One is infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Is that clear? Any doubts here, guys?
Sir, what are the services provided by the AWS regarding the software as a service?
Regarding software as a service, any API you can call it. If at all I am having IAM or else any VPCs or else, I don't think so. The software as a service is available. For example, I can call Lambda is also one of the service. So just you can go and use the services. Whatever the services that you are using right now, those are all comes under the software as a service. So I cannot say that AWS is going to provide the software as a service. Okay. So if I have to see, I did not get this question. So AWS SaaS software services. If you go here, so what are the products that are provided by the AWS? There you go. Amdocs, so said that accelerating investment, reducing site. So I don't think so. There are some services which are getting started with the software as a service product. So they are going to provide the software. So if you go to the marketplace, there you can see the software as a services. Now, if you see here, is there any software? As of now, I don't see any software as a service. They will just say you that if you want to build, you can build it out. So there is no software as a service under AWS. Other services, they are having the other services. Okay. Yes, that's about your different service models you are having. That is about what are the different service models that you are having. One is IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. These are the service models you are having. And the next one is what are the different types of clouds that you are having? Types of clouds. When you come back to the types of, yes.
Sir, can you tell us about runtime and middleware? What it means exactly?
Runtime is nothing but your application related thing. So whatever the software that you are running in the backend of your application. So if you want to run any particular application in front end, you will be using HTML or else Bootstrap or else any application. to communicate with the databases, you require some runtime, which means that in the middleware or else runtime will comes under the any middle softwares like Python, Java, those are all comes under the middleware and runtime. Okay. Is there any doubts
Okay.
again?
No, sir.
So this is about your runtime and middleware. Now, when we come back to the next configuration, here we are having the types of clouds. Types of clouds. There are three types of clouds. One is public cloud, private cloud, and they will be saying some another community cloud like that. I will just give you a briefing about the types of clouds: private cloud and hybrid cloud. So here the public cloud means whatever the cloud that is given by the service providers. Now each and every person all around the world, if they are accessing any sort of cloud, then that is called as a public cloud. For example, I am the user of Amazon Web Services. I am locating in Hyderabad. I can access the cloud services of Amazon Web Service, or else I can access the Azure Web Services, or else I can access the GCP. These are all comes under the public cloud. Whatever the user who is on the internet, they can access the service cloud or they can access the cloud services, then those are called as public clouds. When you go back to the private clouds, private cloud, the name itself indicates private. Private means personal, which means that if at all, if you are in an organization, you are having a data center. Here the cloud is nothing but the combination of multiple data centers. If I have to define what is a cloud, I can simply say that a cloud is a combination of multiple center, or else it is having multiple data centers. So inside the data centers, you will be having so many servers and all the things. So a cloud is a collection of multiple data centers. Now, if I have to define about the private cloud, if any company is there, suppose TCS is there, TCS will have their own data center. They will not provide the resources outside their company. So only their company resources will be provided in that cloud. TCS cloud, they will have only their company application. Whatever the application that are given by their company to the clients, those applications will be running in the cloud. And whatever the application that are developed by that company, those applications will be given. Those applications are deployed in the cloud. So only within the company environment, whatever the cloud is developed, that is called as a private cloud. And the cloud which is going to provide the access to entire companies, any people. So I am just a normal guy who wants to go for the narration of what is meant by cloud and go for a giving training on cloud and all the things. Now, when I am a normal guy, I can access the cloud. So I can access AWS, I can access Azure, which means that they are providing the accessibility to the each and every person all around the world. If you have an internet connectivity, that's more than enough so that you can have your own cloud environment. So this is called as a public cloud. When you come to the private cloud, they will have their own, the company will have their own data center. They will have their own premises. Then that type of cloud is called as a private cloud. Now, when you come to the hybrid cloud is a combination of public cloud and as well as a private cloud. Now, some of the servers will be in the public cloud and some of the servers will be in the on-premises or else in the private cloud. Now, these combination is called as a hybrid cloud. These are the three different types of clouds that you are having. One is public, private, and hybrid, and cloud services, that cloud service models you are having as IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. This is about the introduction of the cloud. And from tomorrow onwards, we are going to start the networking concepts. Once the networking is started, then we are going back to the IP addresses and all the things. And afterwards, we are going to start the AWS concepts. Is that clear for today? Is there any doubts why we are going for on-premises to the cloud and what is meant by cloud and what are the different service models that we are having? Okay, so that's about your cloud services. Tomorrow we will discuss about a full-length topic on networking concepts. What is meant by network? What is meant by IP addresses? How many types of IPs that we are having? All the things that we are going to study. Before you leave today, I am requesting you to go through the binary to decimal conversions. It is very important to understand for tomorrow's class. So please go through the binary to decimal conversion. What is meant by a decimal number system? What is a binary number system? How to convert the binary numbers to the decimal numbers and decimal numbers to the binary numbers. So please go through the number systems once, binary to decimal number conversions, which means if at all, if you are going through the IP addressing concepts, it is very, very, very important for you to go through the binary to decimal number system. Please go through that concept once and attend the tomorrow's class. If you don't go through that, it will be a bit tricky for you to understand the concepts. Okay. Hope you understand the session. We will meet in the next session. As of now, these are the demos. So that's the reason I am stopping at 45 minutes or else 50 minutes. And one more thing I want to tell you guys is that, so this is the second demo we are going. Tomorrow will be the last and final demo. The third demo will be ended by tomorrow. From Monday onwards, you have to, the candidate who are registered for the course, they will be allowed into the classes. Hope you understand this, and so tomorrow we will discuss about the networking concept. Again, I am repeating, the course will be of 45 to 50 days, 50 working days. Again, I am saying the course will be about 45 to 50 working days. In the course, whatever we have given, I have given a curriculum in the DURGASOFT. Those curriculum will be covered. And apart from that, there is some guys are requesting for Linux operating system also. I will just go through the basics of Linux operating system. And yep, that is about what I want to say you. So tomorrow is the last demo class. Have a nice day and bye. Okay, anybody, any queries? It's a question for me.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, today is my first class, sir. Is it possible to share recordings, sir?
Yeah, yesterday every recording will be available for you. Don't worry.
Okay, sir.
It's a question. What is the question now? Weekend classes will be there or no weekend classes. I already discussed about that. Saturday, Sunday is off. Monday to Friday you will be having the classes, and Saturday and Sunday will be off. Next. Okay, so if you don't have any doubts, that's all. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye, sir.